Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Polygon Live. I'm your host Russ and we are here on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, taking a look at the latest and greatest new releases in video games. We play them, we talk about them, we have a good time. And as usual, I am joined by Chris Plant, editor-at-large of Polygon, and we're going to talk about and play some games.
I can't wait. It's a good week.
It is a really good week. It's been a little rough. Generally, the beginning of the year tends to be kind of dry and slow for releases, but guess what? We have a bunch of good releases coming out. We have a brand spanking new PC to play them on, so we don't have to worry about running games on a crummy PC
I don't
like
know
last
what you're
week.
Talking about. You didn't enjoy playing Solitaire last week?
It was fun, but we have a really good list of games. Let me run down the list for you guys. So first up, we have Octodad, Dadliest Catch, which has been a game I think a bunch of people have been waiting for years. We're going to take a look at Hearthstone after that. Hearthstone free-to-play Blizzard card game. We've got Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition, which is the next-gen sort of PS4, Xbox One version of Tomb Raider. And we're going to close out the show with a game called Next Car Game, which is on Early Access Steam right now.
Yes.
So it really is quite a good setup of games. And as I mentioned, the first game that we are going to check out is Octodad, Dadliest Catch, sort of like an adventure game featuring an octopus who's also a dad.
I would call it a octopus father simulator.
Okay, I think that's a fair bet. As luck would have it, we actually have a expert at the game. The one, the only creative director of the game, Kevin Zune, is joining us via Skype to talk about Octodad. Hey, Kevin.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And
it's good to be here.
Yeah, we're going to check out Octodad. Obviously, you are it's very near and dear to your heart. I do want to ask you before we started playing, I mean, I'm sure you've told this story many times, but for people that don't know, first of all, what is Octodad and where did that insane drug-addled idea come from?
Well, it didn't come from drugs, I'll tell you that. I mean, we were a bunch of students at DePaul University, and we got together to make a student game to enter into the Independent Games Festival. And what resulted was Octodad, and it was strange, and it was wonderful, and it did way better than we expected.
Yeah.
So we formed the company Young Horses, some of the original group, and we turned it into Octodad Dadliest Catch, and we went to Kickstarter, and we got $24,000, which seems very small now, but we used that as an indication that people wanted the game, and so over the next several years we worked on it until now.
That's exciting. And so the game comes out tomorrow on PC and Mac and Linux, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And then it's coming out on PS4 sometime in the future.
In March, we predict.
Oh, in March. Lovely. Cool. Well, thank you for that general description. We are going to start booting up the game, and hopefully you can see what we're doing and maybe you can give us some tips. We're actually going to try out the game's co-op mode, which is pretty unique. People that know Octodad might know that it has very unique controls. And in this case, here, you can take care of that. In this case, people can actually control, with 2 or 3 players or even 4 players, you can control each arm of Octodad sort of independently. So one person can control one arm and one person can control the legs, etc. The way we're going to be playing it is actually, so I'm going to be controlling the right leg of Octodad's right side of Octodad's body, and Chris Plant here is going to be controlling the left side of Octodad's body. Looks like you have it set up there.
Oh, wait, no.
No?
Wait, yeah?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's right.
You're
sure.
good.
Okay.
And we're going to try to play through the game, which should be interesting. Maybe just do free play, and we'll do the first level. So, yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So the controls, I mean, we're going to see some tutorial pop-ups in a second, but the controls are obviously very weird. Kevin, was that like something, I mean, I know I've seen the game for years, and that's always been like a big element of it, is like the controls are almost intentionally awkward. Was that part of the plan from the get-go?
Yeah, we basically started with awkward controls as our driving motivation to make this game.
They are awkward.
I mean, we experimented with all kinds of different awkward ways to make him move, and we settled on this scheme. I mean, we were inspired. I know Phil has said before, Jurassic Park Trespasser was a big thing for us. We just wanted to capture that like magic of not being able to control your arms and legs. I mean, QWOP was also pretty big to us.
And
here,
QWOP, for people who might not know, is Bennett Foddy's game where you try to control the appendages of basically a short distance runner with your keyboard, and it's fantastic.
So here, as I mentioned, I'm controlling the right side of Octodad's body. Chris Plant is controlling the left side, and we're sort of getting a handle on moving the arms around. I can pick stuff up and using a mix of the right and left analog stick. And I'm going to try to put this key in this lock here, which I've done. Chris Plant has given up on the left side, so it's pretty much just the right side commanding everything. And this is going to be a problem because we're about to have to walk. So that's his red leg there.
Okay.
I like this element where you've identified by color who's controlling what.
It was really important that we do that because our early versions of cooperative mode did not have that feature.
Yeah, it definitely makes a big difference. And it is, I'm a little bit surprised, but it almost might be, I thought it would make the game way harder, but it really kind of makes it sort of manageable. The game, if you have someone that's working with you, in the case of Plant, not so much.
I'm working. Look, I picked up a chalice.
You did.
I want to get drunk. Let's get high.
But it does make it sort of an exciting, like, vocal couch game.
Sure.
Whereas before, it was just sort of like a weird game you'd play on your own.
Have you ever seen the end of that Indiana Jones movie?
Yeah.
This is what it is. He was like, which one is the cup of a Jewish carpenter? And they're like, the gold one. And then you turn into Octodad.
That's bad.
That's not how it ends? Wait, here. Okay, follow me. I'm an expert
Where do you want to go?
So I want to go here. And I want to
push this button?
Yes. Wait, right? Oh, I need to. Here we go. Boom. So, can you kind of talk us through why a wedding to start this off? Just because it fits the story?
I felt like the wedding was kind of always there in this game. We knew at the very beginning we wanted to start with the wedding. Part of it was that it's kind of a simple setup compared to some of the other levels. Like the main thrust of this level being walking down the aisle at the end.
Yeah.
It was also just a way to introduce Octodad as a character without too much else going on at the beginning. Because like he doesn't have a family just yet. This is like the becoming of Octodad.
The origin story.
Yes.
Okay, I think we've got the suit.
So I do want to know, like, whose idea was it initially? Just the basic premise, the like octopus in disguise idea.
Way back on the student project, there was a group of 3, which was John, Seth, and Nick, I believe. Like, they're all working on the project now. But like they splintered off and they pitched this to the larger group of 18, like, and it was ridiculous, and we all went with it.
Was it pretty close? The initial pitch, pretty close to where it ended up?
I mean, it started off with an octopus inside of a robot suit, where like he was trying to drive it around, and it was a bit more, I guess, believable that people didn't know what he was. But we decided that it would ultimately be funnier if he were just a giant octopus.
I think that's totally accurate. Looks like we need a key here.
I need the key.
You know where the key is?
I don't.
Really?
We're gonna find it.
I thought you played through this. It might be under the banana.
I don't think it is. We need some pro tips from the dev.
Do you actually want to know?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe do I want this spoiled for myself? I thought it would be under the cake. Okay, let's.
It could. Meh. We're just wrecking this room.
Find it.
Okay, where's this key? Otherwise, it's gonna get messy.
It's in that room to the left.
It's in the
where the suit
room.
was.
That's what I figured. Okay, let's do
I
it.
got this out of the room. Oh, it's right underneath the suit.
We just got so excited about the suit.
I got it.
You got
okay,
it? You're
I
gonna
got
do
Let's
it?
go.
Okay, let's
Let's
walk
run.
back. Walk back.
Book it. Book it.
My leg is like totally leading the charge here. That's
what
your
are
leg.
you talking about? My leg is the leg.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, here. Okay, got it. Okay, let's not knock. Don't knock over anything.
We're not.
Be a professional.
Ah,
You're
careful.
a disgrace. No one's
Kevin,
gonna
how's
wanna
it
marry
been?
you.
Console development's obviously sort of notorious for being a little bit difficult. How's it been getting this game on PS4?
So we've generally had one of our team members working on it.
Yeah.
And it took him a month to get it ready for the E3 showing, which was rather fast. Though we've still got a lot of work to do to get the rest of the game working, but it's actually not been that difficult.
Yeah.
We've had to focus in on the PC version and finish that first, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a major deal.
Sure, that's great.
I got it. I got it.
You got it?
I got it. Of course I do.
Cthulhu. Sure. Let me just shout out to the audience. If anyone has any questions for Kevin about Octodad, just send them. You can either drop them in the chat, or even better, tweet them with the hashtag #PolygonLive, and we will see them, and we will ask Kevin these questions. You want to go outside?
I don't think we go outside.
Okay, let's go this way.
Keep going. You're really not helping me out with your
I
legs.
am.
You're pulling about a quarter of the
Oh my
way,
gosh.
and you need to be pulling about a half.
Who did the music for this game?
That's all Seth Parker. He's our audio guy.
Because the
He's
music
done
is
the
tremendous.
music sound effects.
It's just like super catchy and fun-loving, and has sort of like a sitcom-y vibe to it. It's like really cool. Okay, we're gonna lift this up.
There we go.
Although I should mention the theme song was done by Ian McKinney.
Yeah, the theme song is also terrific. Oh, here we're getting to the first major stealth sequence. Oh, we gotta put the hat on. Put that hat on.
There we go.
Keep it classy. Here we go. Stealth sequence.
Okay, up.
Yes, here's your introduction to people.
Okay, we're gonna be cool here.
Oh my gosh,
Just
you're
play it
embarrassing
cool.
us. You're embarrassing us.
Which one am I?
This is just like my real
Am I
wedding.
red?
We're
I don't
freshly
remember.
just embarrassed.
Let go of that door, dummy.
It's just like my
Okay.
real wedding where I wouldn't
There
let
we
go
go.
of the door.
We're cool. We're cool. Oh God, that was you.
Oh my
No.
gosh, that's you. You're the
okay,
right
we're
side.
cool.
Which side of the
I
aisle
just
are you?
slipped
Oh
on some
my
bananas.
gosh, you're humiliating
I mean, it wasn't
me.
my fault the bananas were there.
No one will ever marry us.
We need a better wedding planner. Who's taking care of these bananas? Okay.
Okay.
We need a ring.
Wait, I got it. I got it. It's over here.
Guess you'll have to get the ring
It's
yourself.
in this ring box.
Again, like terrible wedding planning, guys. Like, how do you? You're gonna stick the
Okay.
ring
Here
in
we
this.
go. What are you talking about?
I mean, some
This
of
is
these
exactly-
gems she
There.
might want her.
I
I
Like,
found it. I found it.
yeah, there it is. I see it. You want to get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Okay.
get it.
Got
Damn.
You
Okay.
are so
Careful.
handsome.
Don't hurt her. Don't hurt her. Oh,
Oh my
wow,
gosh,
that
we're
was
gonna be together forever.
that was really impressive. How you just
Of course. That's how I
slid it
am.
on there.
I'm a
That's
man who
like-
enjoys commitment.
that is an expert technique.
Got a lot of practice.
And this is great. Like, they're getting married. They're happy.
Now at this point, she does not know he's an octopus,
Sure.
True.
which leaves a lot of questions about how they have children.
No. No, it
It
doesn't.
really does.
Does it? I don't think so. Did you guys
What?
have difficulty sort of extrapolating the basic concept of gameplay and like turning that into a full game? Or were you like, did you come at it with like tons of ideas like, oh, this is obviously how we're going to expand this?
There's always been kind of a fight between how gamey this game should be, because a lot of Octodad we want to be him in kind of a normal setting ruining everything,
Sure.
but it can be tremendously difficult to come up with like explainable goals inside of a setting like that.
Can you give an example? So obviously we just had a bunch of goals of like getting all the wedding stuff together.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you guys messed around with that just never worked?
Oh yeah, we have at least 3 or 4 levels worth of content we threw out completely because they just didn't make any sense. Like you were launching around a room with ventilation, tiny volcanoes. Put it that way.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn off co-op while Chris Plant takes.
So I have a few other questions for you. Was it difficult to create a game or engine that's essentially meant to be broken or disrupted by the player? and that's from our pal James.
Regarding the engine or the levels? Or?
I think I might be misunderstanding it, but like making a game where you know it plays goofy, like the controls are intentionally difficult for the player to use.
Well, a lot of it was reevaluating how difficult is.
Yeah.
Because as we are masters of this game, our perspective is completely lost on how people control Octodad.
Yeah.
Like, because if I want him to do something, he will do it correctly. And so we had to dial back on difficulty in a lot of the levels because they were just punishing and unfair to anybody who wasn't our level of, like, ludicrous. And trying to be comfortable in a lot of levels with letting people just kind of goof off. Like,
Yeah.
it's all... Like, a lot of the game is goofing off.
Do you bring in a lot of outside testers? I mean, were you like doing the Craigslist thing where you just say, hey, come in, we'll pay you $50 to try this game out if you have no experience, playing this sort of game? Or did you have friends who did that, or what did you end up doing?
So we've been playtesting this game more or less constantly since the beginning of it. And a lot of it was done at DePaul. We would call in a bunch of students who knew us. Sometimes we found groups of children willing to play it. There were a couple of lovely schools that helped us out. We went to LAN bars and that sort of thing to get like more hardcore gamer types to play it. I mean, we tried to find a diverse amount of people, some who knew us, some who didn't, varying levels of skill and familiarity with games.
How do kids do with it, like younger kids? I'm curious.
Much better than we do.
Interesting.
They are super quick to adapt to Octodad's weirdness because it just, it works.
Yeah.
We have a question from Twitter. Will there be any cross-buy or promotions that those of us who might want it on PC now and PS4 later? I'm assuming no, because I don't know of any. I guess Portal 2 was the one thing that's ever had cross-buy between PC and PS and PlayStation, but
yeah.
There's not anything like that, is there?
I've not heard of anything like that. We're probably not going to.
Yeah.
I made your coffee just the way you like.
Have you guys looked at Vita at all?
do.
Yeah.
Huh?
Have you guys looked at Vita at all?
We've looked at it. That's it.
Fair enough. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it really over time, like the first moment you pick up the controller is like, it is honestly like you're reading a foreign language. But it is kind of amazing how quickly you just adapt to the whole concept of it, and it really is quite a bit of fun. I think people are going to be messing around with this. There's probably going to be crazy videos online of people doing insane stuff with the physics for quite a while.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We still get a lot of videos of the first game.
Yeah?
Yeah, there are still Let's Players discovering it and posting it, and that surprises us.
Doing crazy stacks of things, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, speedrunners especially. They figured out how to break our game tremendously.
That's awesome.
And I hope they do the same with this one. I really want to see what people come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach Gerlach asks, which came first, the name or the concept of the game?
The concept came first.
Yeah.
Like, we knew it was an octopus before we called it Octodad, because it was an octopus before he had a family.
Sure.
So it was always an octopus. It was the octopus possibly in that mechanical suit, and then just an octopus in, I guess, a dad suit.
Yeah, right after we determined it was an octopus, we determined that he had a family, and that's just kind of what cemented the concept.
Yeah.
Because the earliest version of Octodad was just a tentacle in a kitchen, and there was a sink and some plates and a baby.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Huh? Did he ever have 8 arms and legs?
Maybe.
Fair enough.
Cool. Any other questions that people are curious about?
I think that wraps up the stuff we have here. I'm curious, like, what is your favorite stage of this game? I don't know if that spoils it if it's too late in the game, but what is the kind of the moment or thing you get to do that you enjoy the most?
For me personally, my favorite level is the arcade level, which you get to later on, where you're trying to win all these prizes for Octodad's wife.
Oh, man.
You get to play air hockey and other ridiculous games.
As an octopus.
Of course.
Honestly, I could just mess around with this game all day. I wish I could in this case. We do have other games we're going to check out, but I do want to thank Kevin for joining us. It was great having you. Congratulations on finishing the game, at least on these platforms. And
one more day.
Yeah, one more day. It comes out. Everyone can download the game on Steam tomorrow. Is it on any other platforms besides Steam, distribution platforms?
Yeah, we're going to be on the Humble Store and GOG.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks again, Kevin. Really appreciate it. And
thanks for having me.
Again, good luck with the launch.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Octodad. What a lovely game. It really is a lot of fun to mess around with. So we are going to be checking out another game coming up right next. And this is a total tonal shift.
They're both PC games.
They are both PC games.
Sure.
They're also both Mac games, which is good to see. And the next game we're going to be checking out is Hearthstone, which is a game by Blizzard. You may
I
have
didn't
heard
recognize that company at first, but they are the people who made the Lost Vikings.
They made the Lost Vikings.
Got
They
it.
made Rock and Roll Racing. I think those are probably their two biggest titles. There's some like niche titles called StarCraft.
Nope.
And World of Warcraft and stuff like that. But the game we're going to check out today is Hearthstone. Again, it's a free-to-play card game. And I will admit that we are not experts at Hearthstone. We've both played it, and we know how it works. We know the mechanics.
It's a card game.
It is a card game.
Sure.
But I would say we are far from experts. Thankfully, we have the luxury of a gentleman on staff who is an expert.
Sure.
And his name is Phil Kohler, Deputy Reviews Editor, Phil Kohler. Do we have Phil? There's Phil. Hey, Phil.
Hi. Hey. How's it going, guys?
Hey, buddy.
It's good to see your beautiful face this lovely morning.
It's so incredible to see your lovely faces every week on this show.
No, shucks. So, Phil, we've brought you on to talk about Hearthstone. For people that are uninitiated, what the heck is Hearthstone?
It is the only video game. It is Game of the Year 2014, so everybody should probably play it now. Get in on it. This is a collectible card game based off of Blizzard's popular World of Warcraft MMO series, and it's the first card game that I've ever really gotten into, and I'm way into it.
By way into it, you mean that I check Twitter in the morning around like 4 a.m. when my tummy bothers me, and look who's there. It's Phil. And he is on his 7th round of going 2 and 3, which I don't know what that means, but he's done it.
It means
and
let's just say
with clerics.
Let's just say with clerics, yes. Let's just say it means that I'm winning. Let's say that.
Is that what 2 and 3 means? Because I'm no expert in stats, but I'm pretty sure it means you've lost.
No, in Hearthstone that means you're winning. Don't worry about
okay,
it.
Whoa,
sure.
This is confusing. Okay,
I have to trust
I'm
you.
already confused, which means we should probably dip into the game, and Phil, you're going to give us some pointers and give us the basics of it. I'm going to do practice here. I've already played through the tutorial, and I guess I pretty much just have this mage deck. I thought I unlocked... Oh, no. Okay, yeah. I have a hunter deck and a mage deck. Which would you recommend, Phil?
For beginners...
I'm a rookie.
For beginners, mage is actually perfect. And mage is the one class that you start unlocked with.
Okay.
So I think that's probably going to be your best bet.
And who do you think I should fight?
Why don't we go against let's say Paladin. Paladin sounds fun, right?
That does sound fun.
I'm not by the way, if anybody in the studio is listening, I'm not getting video on Skype.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll try to get you video over there.
There we go.
Oh,
there it
okay.
is.
Lovely. So right now we're picking from a few cards. And just so people are aware how the stats work and stuff like that, it's pretty simple. I'm not a person that has played Magic or anything like that, but it's as simple as like you see this on the bottom left number, that's the attack. This is health on the bottom right, and at the top left is the amount of mana you need
and the way it's going to work is each round, we're going to start with 1 mana, each round we're going to get 1 more mana to let us summon higher cost cards. And I think you're making the right choice there. I would throw out that turtle and maybe throw out the Senjin Shieldmaster also.
Okay, let's get rid of him as well. Yeah. So right now we don't have any like level 1 mana cards, so I feel like we need at least 1.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
We go. Sweet.
Which is perfect. And also because we're going, so there's some stuff to explain. Right, there's the Paladin playing his first card. Because we're going second, we get 2 bonuses. We get to draw a second card. The first character only drew 3 cards initially, and we drew 4.
Oh, sorry.
And we also get the coin, which is that 0-cost card you see there. That gives us 1 extra mana crystal for a turn, which we shouldn't use now.
Okay.
But I would just use your arcane missiles. Just shoot them with
let's do
arcane
that.
missiles.
So we've got this 1 mana card, arcane missiles, and we're gonna drop it down. And something I like about this game, again, like I haven't played a bunch of Magic, but obviously, you know, for people that play physical card games, you know, you just put a card down. Just nothing magical happens. Here, you're seeing the straight up magic. Yeah. I'm seeing those arcane missiles.
This has the Blizzard bonus of presentation, right?
Sure,
like,
absolutely.
It's polished and it looks really nice.
There's like voiceover for
They're masters of the click.
Yes.
Of like making every single thing feel good to the point where it's like heroin, where if you don't feel it going in your mind, you're going to
I even noticed this, like, I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but if you click on the board and there's like nothing there,
stop it.
There's different
dust.
There's different boards that you can play with, and you can click on different things. So, like, click over in the rocks by the catapult in your lower right corner.
Lower right.
You can drag one into
the.
You can drag one into the catapult.
Oh, shut up!
And then shoot the catapult.
Oh my God! See, this is why we brought you. I knew we had you there. Oh my God! Take that, jerk! That's playing against us.
So there's different boards, and each of the boards has their own little random weird clickable things, and that's just like it's such a tiny touch, but it's like a little. What are those things that Blizzard does so well that adds a surprising amount to the game?
Yeah. Oh no, they're attacking.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna. Don't worry about it. We got this. This is doing great. For this turn, use your every hero. The reason that there are different classes. Each class has specific cards they can use that other classes can't. They also have a hero power.
Okay.
And your hero power is Fire Blast, which deals 1 damage to anyone. You can either do it to the hero or to any of the minions they've put down. In this case, that minion only has 1 health, so I just use that Fire Blast to get rid of that, clear the board of that minion.
Take that, Tusky.
Phil, is this free to play?
This is.
How do they make monies? Because they gotta make a lot of money.
They do make a lot of money on this, I think. So the way it works is you can, of course, you can buy new packs of cards. And alternatively, so there are 2 modes in the game. There's the mode that we're playing right now, although we're playing against computer, but obviously you can play against real humans as well. In this case, I would use your coin.
Okay.
And put out your turtle.
Come on out, Otis. Oh, Oasis. Never mind.
It's the turtle. The nice thing about him, he only has 2 attack, but you can see he has 7 health.
Oh yeah,
so he's gonna survive for a while.
Awesome. Sorry, you were saying about the free-to-play?
There's just this regular versus mode where you're playing with the deck that you've made. Oh man. And then there's an arena mode, and the way arena mode works is they randomly give you cards, and you have to choose between sets of 3 that are pulled from the full deck, everything in the game at random.
Oh wow.
So arena mode is much more challenging, much more interesting, but arena mode also costs money if you want to play it, or in-game gold, which you can earn by there's quests you can do every day. Yeah, you made the right choice there, and then that puts your raptor out.
Let's see.
Bloodfen raptor.
Where is he?
Oh, there polymorph.
Yeah, polymorph's good. So that lets you, if there's like a really brutal enemy on the board, you polymorph it into a sheep, and then it just has 1 attack and 1 health. Does everyone got? Oh yeah. So the end turn is glowing. That means we're done. And in terms of like charges and stuff like that, like how much is this stuff cost generally, Phil?
I believe a pack of cards is $1, and that's 5 cards. What would you do here? I think your best bet here is kill that dwarf with your raptor, and then put out your Senjin Shieldmaster.
Is it a good tactic to use the cards first or use the minions first?
It depends. Like sometimes you have cards that can affect your minions. Like sometimes it's like if I play this card, my minions get +3 attack.
Sure.
So that's important to play that first. So it's kind of it changes as you go, and it's kind of something that as you learn the cards, you kind of learn which ones you need to focus on first.
So this is a pretty brutal guy. I kind of want to use my polymorph on him. What do you think?
I would say actually, so your Fireball, the nice thing about Mage, and one of the reasons Mage is so good for beginners, is they have a spell called Fireball that is only costs 4 and it does 6 damage.
Yeah.
So I would just use that and then save your polymorph in case there's anything else giant
nuke
that shows up.
I guess.
Now, Phil, I want to play this on my iPad. How long will I have to wait?
This year sometime is all. It's Blizzard, so you never know. They take their time. Oh wait, you should attack with your Shieldmaster.
Oh right. Yeah, I always forget about that.
No, that's easy to forget when you're just starting. That's a common mistake.
Yeah.
Very immature, but it's okay.
I know.
Blizzard says it's coming to iPad this year. Supposedly, I've seen pictures of like internally them using it already, and it looks really good.
Let's see. We got a lot of guys on the field now. I can use my Shieldmaster to kill this guy. Oh no, that's not enough.
Actually, what I would do, I would say Arcane Missile. I think that's a good idea to start off, and then let's see where that leaves us.
Okay.
Now, Phil, how different is high-level play from like the type of stuff Frushik's doing right now? Does it always kind of stay? I mean, obviously there's more complex strategies, but does it get a lot more complicated than this? Or is it just a matter of, always just knowing which card to choose?
So it's interesting. I think Hearthstone is one of those games that, as we're seeing, it's relatively easy to get into. It's fairly approachable, but I do think at high-level play, like, there's already, I want to say something like 200 cards in the game.
Jesus.
So there's a lot of different strategies people can employ.
Yeah. This is kind of, I guess, related to this question, but our boy Austin Walker says, Phil, is this your first CCG? And follow-up question, how hard would it be for players totally new to CCGs, competitive card games, to get into this one?
These are great questions. I've actually got an opinion piece about Hearthstone that should hopefully be going up today. That actually is related to this. Yeah, beautiful timing. But to answer the question as is, this was my first CCG. I never really got into Magic the Gathering, which is the big one that I think a lot of people played.
Sure.
There was a World of Warcraft trading card game, a physical World of Warcraft trading card game that I also never really got into. But this was my first one, and as I said, it's very approachable. I don't feel like I had very much trouble getting into this.
It is definitely my first, and I think, again, as Phil was talking about the presentation value and stuff like that, that makes a huge difference. Also the fact that, like, all the math is taken care of. You don't need to keep track of like how much health the guy has and stuff like that. Really makes a big difference.
Russ, I'm going to suggest here, and this will show some of the cool special effects we're talking about. Throw down that ogre, since that's like a higher cost card. Watch what kind of slams down a little bit harder.
That's neat.
And the higher you get, the more. So like if you throw down like a 9 cost card, that's a really powerful minion. Like it really like shakes the whole board, and it's just another one of those like cool effects that's like Blizzard knows what they're doing.
I got a technical question for you. Morgan Freeman is actually in our chat room right now. Dr. Morgan Freeman.
Oh wow!
And he wants to know, if you attack with a character, can it not block the next turn, like AKA being tapped, a la Magic?
Yeah. So that part of the thing that's interesting is this plays with a lot of the same ideas as Magic the Gathering, but it does simplify everything. And part of that simplification includes the concept of tapping, which is something as somebody who didn't play Magic, after I played this, I had to figure out what that was when I went back and looked at Magic. Tapping is, oh man, you pulled 2 Murlocs. It's the worst.
Oh.
Yep, you did it. The concept of tapping is not in this game really at all. So it's just you use a character whenever you want on your turn, and it doesn't affect. There's no separate phases of turns.
Plant didn't realize that's the noise that they made. So he just
I'm gonna build a deck. All those things.
Oh, Murlocs.
Those exist. Those are a popular rush deck, and they're the worst thing in the world. In fact, if you've been watching my tweets about this, half of my tweets about Hearthstone are just complaining about that kind of deck.
So I feel okay. So this is a good sort of an expert moment. At this point, I've got 10 mana, tons of mana, and he's going to start having a bunch of minions on the board. Should I ignore the minions and just like go whole hog on him, or what do you think?
We're close to the point, and so you're right. This is actually one of the big things that separates really good players from new players is knowing when to attack minions and knowing when to just ignore them and go for, just hit the hero.
Yeah.
In this case, I'm gonna say, first off, use your Fire Blast to clear off that 1/1.
Yep.
How much health does the?
He's got 13.
How much health does the guy next to the 1/1 have?
Something's happened. Did I break it?
You gotta summon that spell. Are you?
Oh,
there you go.
Just a little delay.
It just took a while. It's beta, open beta, but it's still beta. How much health does the knight there have? The one above your ogre.
He's got 2 health. I think that's his.
Okay, throw your Murloc
a
into
night
him.
bear?
Oh.
Like he's a bear who lives in the night?
Oh, I said knight there, but also
The
there.
knight
And
there.
then I'd say use your ogre to just attack the hero.
Sure.
Attack that hero.
Why not?
Gnome.
Okay, he's down to 7 health. He's doing pretty bad. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna put out. I want to put out him.
Yeah, that's good. And then if you do your wolf.
Oh yeah, he can attack.
Rider, he can attack. He has charge. That means he can attack as soon as you play him. So you can even get him down lower. You can get him down to 4.
Boosh.
Wow, this is going exactly how I thought it would.
I'm gonna put out my Murloc too. Why not?
Beautiful. Yeah. And in a lot of cases, as you get better, like you'll realize, and as you're playing against better opponents, you'll realize like actually like flooding out as many minions as possible on the board is usually a bad idea.
Okay.
But in this case, you've already won, and it's the AI, which is only so good.
What are you trying to say?
So I got a question for you.
You can kill him. You should kill him.
Maxwell asks, how long do you think it would take to make a competitive deck without paying any in real life money?
So I have not paid very much money, and
Wait.
I would say after about a month or a month and a half of playing, I have a some pretty solid decks going without. That was before I put any money into it, and then I've put a little bit into it since then.
Does it have that point in so many free-to-play games where you're gonna have to put in at least $1? Like that to me, in every like type of Clash of Clans or Candy Crush, there is just this point where they get you really, really hooked, and then it's like, for $1, it would make a huge difference in how much you enjoy this game.
You unlock the Paladin. Good work.
Thank you.
Sort of. For me, that point was the first time I played Arena, because they let you do your first Arena round for free, and then it's like anytime that you want to play Arena after that, you can see it locked on the front page.
Do you want to
there.
explain what Arena is?
Wait, before
That's the mode where you're picking stuff randomly.
Right.
You're picking cards randomly, and it's just a really fun, really addictive mode.
So I have this pack that I unlocked, I think, just from playing single-player stuff. So let's see what we got. Phil, are you going to be super jealous if I get something really boss?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably rage quit this stream.
Okay.
Murloc.
All Murloc.
I get,
Oh, wow.
So we're spinning him around.
Sure.
That's cute.
That's a pretty good one.
Oh, I like that. Taunts with a lot of health. That's really good.
Light Spawn's really good.
Oh,
actually.
crazy.
So the Priest has a bunch of buffs that can increase somebody's health, so that's actually going to also increase Light Spawn's attack.
Cool.
Drakenhawk's not good, but that's okay. Secret Creeper's all right.
All right. And is
This
there
is
a way
actually
to
a pretty
give
good
people pack, like a card that you like that you don't need? Is there a way to trade them?
There's not, but what you can do if you want to go into my collection, I can show you one of the cool things about this that also helps you avoid having to spend very much money if you're playing right. Click on crafting mode up in the upper right corner.
Okay, crafting mode.
So you can actually, in addition to getting gold, you can get arcane dust, which is a currency that you can use to build cards. And you can build any card in the game.
Oh, you can build any card you want? Is that random?
Yeah, there are no cards that you cannot create, and you just need to have the arcane dust to do it. And if you get a card in the pack, like let's say let's say there was a card in that pack that you are not interested in having. Yep, there's all the Murlocs.
Oh, what a deck! Look at all those Murlocs.
But let's say like you didn't like your Secret Keeper and you wanted to get rid of it, you can disenchant that and you'll get some arcane dust. It's usually about half of what it would cost to craft it. But then you can put that towards crafting a card that you do care about.
So if you could remove any card, this is from Maxwell. If you could remove any card, which card would that be? It can't be Murloc. Don't say Murloc. If you could remove any card except for Murloc, which card would it be?
All of the Murlocs, just every...
You really hurt my feelings.
And this is cool. You can make, obviously, your own deck based on the cards you've unlocked.
Yeah, and so you have like 9 slots for decks, and there just happens to be 9 classes. So if you like trying out all the different classes, you can build one deck for each class.
It's crazy. I mean, it is, I would say, coming into it, it feels like it would be super, super overwhelming. But like Blizzard knows how to do this stuff so well that the tutorial is super smart. This is just the computer building a deck because I'm lazy.
Yep.
The tutorial is super smart and super engaging, and yeah, I mean, I've really been having fun with this, and considering it's free, I've probably put in maybe 4 hours or so. I haven't spent any money, so it's good. You can for people that haven't played it.
We have a question.
And worth clarifying too that when I mentioned that the arena mode was where I first wanted to spend money. Even in that, which is locked right now, but will be unlocked for you soon, I'm sure. Even in that, it's not necessarily that the game forces you in any way. It's just like when you finish the arena mode, it's like, hey, now you can either pay 100 gold or pay $1.50 to play this, and I could have just waited and been like, I'll just wait until I have 100 or 150 gold, but I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
I had to do it again immediately.
That's how I feel too.
We have a question for us here in the studio from Zach Gerlach. Is there any chance that you'll get into this game, and would a lot of people getting into it influence that decision? So obviously Phil's this is a game. Yeah, obviously Phil. I mean,
sure,
he's a dude who loves this game already.
Phil's also a robot and doesn't sleep.
Yeah,
those are all true things.
Phil does have this amazing power to just feed off of the sun's energy.
Yeah.
I mean, how about you?
I mean, getting into a game versus getting into a game, I could see myself playing this during my lunch hour or something like that. I don't know that I'm gonna be up at super late doing intense online battles.
Yeah.
I play very few online games because I tend to get very frustrated easily. I played one online match earlier and just got decimated by some random person. Probably because I hadn't really played through all the classes and stuff like that. But what I like about it, contrary to games like World of Warcraft and stuff like that, is that you can really get through a match in 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas even Magic can really drag on. A lot of these collectible card games can really last a while. This feels very bite-sized.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That's something I love about it as well. Is I can play a round or two on my lunch break and not feel overwhelmed.
See, I feel like I've had addictions in the past.
Okay.
And I don't allow myself.
Can you name those addictions?
No, I'm not. No.
No.
But I just don't allow myself to basically enjoy these games because I know I will. It's the same with MMOs. It's even the same with competitive shooters. After a certain point, I usually kind of will force a cutoff, which I get is not normal, and that's not how most people play games. But because of our job, I have to play so much. And I know that if I get into this, or even if I get into something like a Clash of Clans or a Candy Crush, which I get are very different games, that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And I just won't make time for it. So this is something that I'm definitely going to put time into, but I have a sense it will be the same thing where I have to uninstall it from my computer, even though I guess you don't really do that with this because it's browser-based, right?
No, it's not.
Okay, so yeah, I'll have to uninstall it because I'll go too far down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Just let it happen. Just give in.
Do it.
Just
You are a miracle man because you somehow do both. You are able to have, I think, like 2 games that you are masters of on top of playing other games.
Yeah.
But you don't sleep. So
I wouldn't assume that I'm a master of this game either. I just tweeted about it a lot. Not necessarily very good.
Sure.
We are actually going to switch games now to another game that Phil is well versed in on the PS4 called Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
Tomb Raider?
Are you familiar with Tomb Raider, Phil?
Yes, I am very familiar with Tomb Raider.
I know you are. That's why we kept you on the stream. We could have just kicked you off straight away.
I'm so appreciative that you didn't kick me off. One of my favorite games of 2013.
Absolutely, a tremendous game.
On my top 5 list.
Definitely a really, really good game. And so Definitive Edition just came out. It's basically, it's on PS4 and Xbox One, and it is basically the, like, would you argue? It's basically like the super pretty edition.
Sure, I would say it's definitive. Definitely.
It's definitive.
I think what I said my review update is it's technically the definitive edition.
Sure. So we're gonna play. You want to play it?
Sure, I'll hop into it.
Okay. No,
I'll need
that's an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Generally, when you're playing PS4 games, you use PS4 controllers.
Okay.
It's optional
Here, do you want
though.
this? I'll give you my computer really quick.
Oh, sure.
Tell me what's going on.
Absolutely. So we're here. You can
Gross.
see we're running it on PS4 to give you an idea. Phil, did you try both platforms or did you just play the? Okay, so and I should follow up. You've played it on PC as well.
Yes.
So what would you say is the version of the game that sort of works the best?
I mean, I think, and this is also something that we mentioned in the review as well. I think if you have a choice between every platform, and you pushed me, I would say go with the PS4 version. PS4 version is it looks just a little bit nicer. It has a higher frame rate, which is I've discovered very important to some people, and it's just that's probably the ideal version if you have a choice of everything. But I think if you're playing on the Xbox One version, you're not missing out on a ton. It's not like the difference in frame rate doesn't negatively impact the game very much.
Sure.
It's not the kind of like Twitch-based game where every bit of frame rate matters to that degree, you know?
Yeah. Chris has figured out how to use a PS4. Well done, Chris. And he's inverting now.
There we go.
And here we're seeing some of the prettiness that's going on here. This is absolutely a gorgeous game.
It's a dead body. What do you mean prettiness, you freak?
The environment, whatever. I mean,
you're disgusting.
He's been dead for a while.
Listen, we all know what Russ is interested in.
Corpses.
Just
corpses.
How?
Just corpses. Sounds like
so can we talk about something this has nothing to do with the definitive edition? It's the indie edition of Tomb Raider. What is up with them like enjoying her falling? Like
she falls a lot.
She falls so much to like a point where it's a little weird. Okay, I've got a bow and arrow.
So one of the
things you're seeing here that they've changed a lot in this version is nicely done.
What up?
The amount of like wildlife and just like plants everywhere and all of that, everything's denser.
Yeah.
So it's nicer and a little more realistic. Like it's this crazy like overgrown island.
That's the thing that I think people who haven't been playing PC games for the past few years are going to notice a lot of probably for the first time in next gen games. Is they're essentially games from the previous generation, but with way more grass textures and like 3 times as many NPCs. Like that's how you make a game look next gen. You just throw more on the screen.
And that's an MPD in this case.
Non-playable deer?
Yeah.
Nice.
I did it.
Oh.
The other thing I noticed about this is the lighting feels like way more textured, I guess. It's like way more obvious, whereas when I played it on current gen consoles, it felt a lot more washed out. It felt like, you know, kind of a uniform lighting, whereas this just, I don't know, it feels much more lush.
And as we get the close-up on Lara there, they also improved Lara's model.
Yeah.
All of the character models, I think, to some degree, but Lara in particular. So she is a little more emotive, a little more realistic looking. Looks very good, I think.
Let's talk about tress effects.
Oh my gosh, the worst phrase in video games today.
So they've one of the additions, and you can see it here, is that they've made her hair more realistic.
Yeah, the way it goes through her arm.
Yeah, I was gonna say this maybe isn't the best.
Good timing.
It
really is, I guess, a more obvious or cleaner when you're just playing the game and not in a cutscene, but it like floats around and stuff. Next gen, what can I say? It's all about the hair. Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
I mean, as Chris Plant just told us, I think what people are going to notice with next gen is hair.
Yep.
Lots of hair, and that's it pretty much.
They should do Hair the Musical.
I heard that's why Watch Dogs is delayed. They're just working on hair.
Yeah. How did you feel playing on PS4 controller versus PS3? I just love this controller. I want to play every game on PS4 controller.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel as well, and that's how I felt playing it with the PS4. It was just like this. Everything feels so nice on that controller.
Yeah. Did you play any of the online in this version? It's pretty much the same, I would imagine.
Yeah, it is. So they did include all of the DLC, which includes a handful of maps for the multiplayer mode. Unfortunately, there's no reason to play the multiplayer mode in this.
It's just not very good.
This is a very, very good single-player game, and I don't think it's even worth thinking about the multiplayer mode. Like,
wow,
it's just not. It's completely forgettable. It's not like. It's not even that it's bad necessarily. It's just mediocre.
Yeah, it feels very much like it was like, oh, we need online mode because games have online modes and they do well when they have online modes. So, which is a little bit of a bummer. I wouldn't say it taints the single player at all, but yeah. Don't buy this game for the online.
It is a bummer that in the definitive edition, you know, there's not much in the way of new stuff except for those multiplayer maps.
Right. I was hoping for like maybe a downloadable chapter or something like that.
And I respect, like, I think they've said in interviews that they wanted to save actual story material for a sequel.
Sure.
I get that.
But maybe, you know, she like sets up like a food stand on the island and she has to go find like deer burgers.
Sure. Do you think this looks better than the PC version? Because they decided not to bring the definitive edition's upgrades to PC. Is that just essentially because the PC version is already there?
So supposedly, and I haven't done a one-to-one comparison, but from reading a bunch of interviews and seeing people online talking about it, supposedly the definitive edition on PS4 and Xbox One does have some visual upgrades that are notably better than the PC version.
Like the character model.
Like the character models. But I don't think it's going, like, I think if you're playing on PC and you're playing on, like, ultra settings or whatever they're called on that, I think it's probably comparable, you know?
Yeah. I mean, my take, not having a real hardcore gaming PC at home, just sort of that's going to be a dead end. So we already came from there.
Can't
not having a gaming PC at home, I would say, sort of the luxury of knowing that this is going to look gorgeous, but also like play really well. Yeah. Whereas I think, for people that might have a mid-range or even upper mid-range, turning on all the bells and whistles, you never really know. There might be some screen tearing. You might perish the thought crash to desktop because, hey, PC games.
It was pretty good. I will say, and Square Enix in the last year, they really delivered on their PC ports.
Yeah.
And I think that is, again, why it is almost unnecessary. And I was saying before the show in the chat that I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of the games that came out in the last year or so get definitive editions.
Sure.
One, because they didn't all sell that well, or as well as I think they hoped. And two, they had already invested so much money in high-def versions of them for PC, like Sleeping Dogs.
Absolutely.
Are you saying that you think we'll get a next-gen version of GTA 5?
Yeah, Square Enix is GTA 5.
Yep. No, I think
yes, I think you're right on that also.
Just a reminder, if anyone is watching the stream and has any questions, tweet your questions to with the hashtag Polygon Live, or just drop them in the chat, and I will ask them of Phil. Phil being the resident expert of Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Yeah, it really does look fantastic. When I heard about it coming out, I was like, well, I played it already, but just playing the intro to this really got that itch again, where I definitely felt the need to like, hey, maybe I'll play through it again on this super gorgeous version.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Like, I mean, if you have already played the game, like I said, there's not a lot new here. There's not necessarily... I don't think you need to rush out and buy it immediately, especially at full $60 asking price. But it's nice having an excuse to go back to a game that I really enjoyed and actively want to play again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. And there are, as you mentioned, plenty of games that I would love to see console versions. Oh, interesting. So apparently the controller, we can't actually see it, but Twitter has mentioned this to us. The controller, that's when you're holding a torch, the light changes color.
Yes.
Sure. Did you notice that too, Phil?
Yeah, yeah. And they have added in lots of little, like, you can use the touchpad for some stuff. If you have the PS4 camera hooked up, or if you're using Kinect, you can use voice commands.
Yeah, why would you ever use voice commands?
I mean, yeah, they're not really, like, I guess you can shout out show map instead of hitting the button to bring up your map.
And then it'll load my TV.
Yeah.
And then you could also, I think you could shout things to switch weapons, which seems crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're.
They're very
right.
they're very obviously super optional.
Yeah,
so.
They're definitely trying to make it work. People are asking. Austin had a question. Why do we think Tomb Raider didn't do as well as Square wanted it to?
So two reasons. One, Square's crazy.
Yep, that was the big one.
And didn't set their expectations realistically. I also think that, I think Square, for the better for the game, I think they gave Crystal Dynamics a lot of time to work on this.
Sure.
And maybe a lot more time and resources than they would have for a game that sold what it ended up selling immediately. Although, they have said more recently, and whether or not this is just saving face, you can decide for yourself, but they have said more recently that by the end of last year, this version, or the original version of the game, rather, was...
profitable, essentially?
Profitable, yeah. Like that it had, whether or not that means that it hit their expectations, who knows, but they said that it was making them money at least, which is good.
I think the multiplayer is another reason where it's like, it's your first go back at this series and doing that on top of it and doing the DLC and counting that people will actually want to buy that DLC, there's...
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I think Square probably just looked at it from an arithmetic standpoint. It was just like, we spent this much on marketing, this much on game development. It should equal this much profit, and it didn't.
Well, and it's a brand that they thought
and it's a brand that they thought was huge. And like, honestly, I agree. I think they probably overestimated it. They might have spent too much on development, and we're expecting too much from that investment. My hope is that presumably there will be sequels, and then this will slowly grow back into the franchise it once was.
Yeah, I mean, I think between this definitive edition, which will hopefully, especially right now when there's not a lot to play on PS4 and Xbox One, this will hopefully get some more sales for them, and I'm sure it didn't cost overly too much to create.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, I think they've set a good foundation just in terms of rebuilding a fan base, rebuilding interest in the franchise, and also hopefully they have a lot of tools in place to help them make the sequel a lot faster and for a little bit less money.
Yeah, for sure. We had a good question from Stucky. Graphics-wise, how would you say this compares to a game like Killzone? Killzone on PS4.
I don't think it's up to that level. I mean, you can still, I think even right now in this cutscene, you can kind of see it. Like, there's still stuff about this that you're like, and it feels weird saying this because we just got the PS4 and Xbox One, but there's still stuff when I look at this like, oh yeah, this is last gen.
Yeah.
It's it is a last-gen game with a nice coat of paint over it. And it's still very, very good-looking, but it's not all of the next-gen whistles that you get in a game like Killzone.
Sure, I'd agree with that.
It's not as like completely astounding as something like that.
Yeah. It's a much better game.
It's a much better game than Killzone. It's so much better.
Yes.
But you know, maybe not quite as in terms of visuals alone.
Yeah. There's way too much her getting hurt in this game.
There's a lot of it, and you know, that actually like almost feels weirder now that it looks nicer.
Yeah.
It actually makes me a little worried for the sequel. I'm like, that's full next gen or full current gen.
Yeah.
It looks really, really nice.
She should just go in full armor in the next game. Like head to toe medieval armor.
This time, I guess it makes sense because she didn't know this was going to happen. But
that's true.
I would
She'll
hope,
be prepared.
You know, I'm going to fight the birds.
Yeah, wolves actually, but that's fine. I think once the wolves attack, that's probably a good place to wrap up on Tomb Raider. Oh, okay, lovely, well done.
Okay,
Chris.
I did it.
Pause it. And that about does it for Tomb Raider. We do have one more game after this, but I did want to say thank you very much to Phil for joining us on Polygon Live.
I really appreciate it.
Lovely to have you. Thank you for walking us through Hearthstone and then Tomb Raider. And farewell to you, sir. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I miss you already.
And here you go, Chris. Here's your computer back, and we're going to check out the last big game of the week, which is a game called Next Car Game, which is on PC. It's currently available on Early Access Steam.
Yes.
It is a driving game, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Sort of a car game, if you will, the next car game. Chris, you brought this to my attention.
Yes.
Talk to me about it.
Oh, man. So, this is a game from Bugbear Entertainment.
Okay.
They're a Finnish developer, I believe, who made the Flatout series.
Oh, yeah.
Which maybe you know a little bit about.
This is the next car game after the Flatout series?
A Flatout. I think Next Car Game is like a temp name.
Okay.
I can't imagine it's a real name.
I like it.
You want to hand me the controller and I'll kind of dig into it, and actually you can keep this.
Yeah, you do your thing.
They also did Ridge Racer Unbounded, I think is what it was called.
Okay.
Which was a really solid Ridge Racer game that kind of came and went under, what was that Disney game with all the explosions in the cars?
Oh, I don't remember.
Sure.
I know what you're talking about. The city blows up and you race through it.
It came out a little bit after that and kind of got lost because of it. So the reason I wanted to bring this though is the destruction is so good. I think it was Rock Paper Shotgun who compared it to Red Faction with cars, and that you're just destroying everything.
We should mention Red Faction had cars.
I guess it did in the sequel.
In Gorilla, there were cars.
Yeah. But everything's destructible, and everything kind of impacts the race.
Okay.
So as you, we'll see it as we go through this first race.
Sure.
What the damage does to the track, and also your car is super destructible. There was a tech demo that they put out before that. I think they even announced this game of what they're doing with the car physics that got a lot of hype. You'll kind of see some of this stuff. So already it's getting messy here, but here I'll.
Oh my God! Oh wow! Okay, right through it. I was ready for you to crash right into that and just stop
for it
dead.
To just stall.
Right.
That luckily didn't do a ton of damage to the front of my car. By the third lap, your car is pretty busted.
Oh wow,
that's gonna hurt.
Oh gosh.
Luckily, it's a 24-car race, so I'll still be competitive for a while.
So how do you feel about the handling of the game? Is it
right now, so it is a green light game. It's pretty early. This feels like a demo, and you can tell that they're still kind of getting a hold on how they want it to handle. It's pretty loose.
Oh my God.
But it's, I don't know, it's fun. There's a destruction derby mode.
There are like a lot of awesome moments. You're unfazed by this.
I'm just trying not to crash. This is probably the best I've done. Yeah, it's a bit loose, but you can gradually get a hold of it. Basically, on these turns, the goal is to not spin out.
Yeah.
Especially with people trying to slam into you like that. A lot of the racing so far for me is about placing my car in spots where people can't, sideswipe me.
Sure.
And I haven't even gotten to a stage where I can think about, leading the pack. But there, again, is where stuff went off the track earlier in the race. And that's the cool stuff. So far, this is a pretty clean track.
I mean, you got tires and stuff chilling.
But once you start having cars busted in the middle of the track, it gets really nasty.
Is there any track deformation that you've seen?
Not. I know you're talking about like the dirt getting all runny. I don't think so.
I know Sega's racing series has had that in the past, where like the like physical track would change as more cars drove over it. But again, this is early access, so it might be something they're looking into. You've got critical damage here. What happens if you damage out? Are you toast?
Well, they can bust out my wheels or basically crunch the front of my car.
Okay.
And then you can be totally taken out of the race. That is actually, I think, what I'm on the verge of having happen to me. But your car can drive with a lot of stuff busted. There's just certain parts of your car that you really have to protect.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed about these sort of games where like crashing is sort of a big focus is that it's kind of a little bit frustrating because you'll get to the point where you're very late in the race and then one car will just act crazy and totally knock you off your line. Have you noticed that at all? Oh, you got 14th place.
Here, we'll do a destruction derby match.
Okay,
after
so
this.
that'll show some of the more destruction-y stuff. But like, does it feel like the AI is like pretty stable, or do they get really aggressive?
Right now, they're pretty rough. You'll, sometimes like find them bouncing against a wall, not knowing where to go.
Okay.
When they're actually, in the heat of a race, they're pretty good as long as they don't get totally lost. It doesn't feel like they're trying to kill you the entire time, which would drive me, exactly like you said, insane. It does feel like they're trying to actually compete in a race.
Yeah.
They're just very aggressive. So if you are slow on a turn and they're playing fast on it, they'll probably just nail you. Okay, here we go. Apparently, people who do this in early access also get kind of a destruction toolbox where it's a whole bunch of different ways to bust up your car in kind of a clean white space. We, for whatever reason, don't have access to it, but I have seen some videos of that. So if you just want a reason to bust up cars, oh gosh, I braked right into that, and that was such a stupid thing. An idea of how.
By the way, I should mention for anyone watching, again, if you have any questions, send them to just Twitter at Polygon with the hashtag PolygonLive, and we will answer them as best we can. Chris Plant's the expert at next car games, so hopefully he'll have all your answers. And here you're just trying to survive and take guys down. That's crazy. I mean, it's technically cool.
There you can see what's
the graphics are really that's crazy. I don't know that I'd have a ton of fun playing this game.
The stuff that comes off of that causes damage. So even these small bits, if you hit them at the wrong speed, they can really chop.
Again, it's like this is all looking very cool, but is it fun?
I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, do you like causing destruction?
Well, here's the thing. I like games like Burnout, where obviously crashing is important, but crashing doesn't change handling and stuff like that. So you're still have a really solid racing game. I feel like I'd get frustrated with this sort of game.
That's what I'm really digging about it in the races, is having to kind of adjust my play style to how I'm damaged.
Okay.
Right? So
interesting.
If I'm near critical damage, I have to make a decision of okay, I should probably play it really safe or gamble it and still go into this pretty aggressively. And then on top of that, if my front right wheel goes out, having to adjust how I control the vehicle with that.
Yeah.
So you have to be pretty great at. Oh no, my car's so busted.
Can you not drive anymore?
I can barely drive.
Can you move the camera around
my
with the right stick?
left wheel and my front right wheel
Let's see it.
are
Move
out.
the camera around.
There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna move it right now. Here we go.
You're pretty well rocked.
Oh. Did that take me down?
Close enough.
Okay, you want to see one more track?
Sure.
Let's do it.
I get this is just not my sort of game, but I know a lot of people that like these sort of games.
Fun games?
I don't know. I guess I don't like quasi-realistic racing games.
That's what it is. It's not right near a balance of realistic versus non-realistic.
No, it's too realistic. That's the problem.
That looks like a real. There are no drivers in that car.
There is.
No, there's not. There's 0 people.
Okay, but when I was playing earlier, there are definitely drivers in the car.
Okay, we'll see. That looks like
That's
fiction.
have you been to a demolition derby? I know you're from Kansas City. They have them like every other day.
We discussed this morning.
Right.
Rodeos, demolition derbies.
You go to church, and then after that, you go right to the demolition derby.
That hit too close to home. Okay, here.
Okay, so this is more of an asphalt track.
Nasty.
Yeah, play it nasty. Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna spin out.
Oh, that was good.
Okay. I'm kind of wondering if the AI reacts to how you start playing, because it does seem like...
That's awesome. So, like, that stuff's cool. I just, like, I think it would hinder gameplay.
Oh my gosh, they just took out one of the...
Did that bridge come down?
That bridge, no.
Does it come down?
I don't know. I have not tried.
Because that would be, again, like that Disney game.
I would try to take it out, but right now, any damage to the front of my car is just going to end this race.
Okay.
Here, I'll do that.
Yeah, yeah, do it here. There.
No, I'll turn around. I'll get some speed. Here we go.
You're just going to run into the other cars. They're going to be looping around.
That would be okay by me. Here we go. Here we go.
There we go.
Here we go.
Don't miss. Oh! Probably the middle one can't get knocked out.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm going to get that middle one.
Okay, you don't need to make this much space. You don't need to drive a half-mile down the road.
Yeah, you do.
You really don't.
You need speed.
It's going to take a while. There's a lot of stanchions.
Okay. Oh, no.
Okay.
That jerk! Okay. I think we're done.
Yeah. I don't think the middle one comes out. I don't think there's like...
I'm going to park my car here.
Okay, give it one more shot.
I'm just going to park my car. Hey, don't mind me. Just. Oh.
Oh, wrecked. Lovely. Well, okay. It looks like there aren't too many queries about next car game.
So the cars crash, you say?
Yeah, but yeah, it's available on Steam early access now if you want to check it out.
Sure.
I think it's like $24.99 or something like that.
I think there might even be a cheaper version of it. There's like a deluxe version and a normal version, so make sure.
Yeah, just understand what you're getting is basically a glorified demo. You're definitely not getting a full game yet, so keep that in mind. And we have just one more unlisted game to check out, and that's our traditional end of the show game. Plant, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready for this.
The traditional end of the show game for people that watched last week and will watch from every week now on is TowerFall. People that watched last week may remember that I beat Chris Plant in our weekly one-on-one TowerFall matches.
I don't remember that.
And we'll see if I can do a repeat, Chicago Bulls style. So let's get it on. As usual, I will play. Oh no, I'm blue. Okay, I'm blue.
You're such a child.
I'm always blue. What? Last of the order. Who are you? Turncloak? Okay. And let's turn on our variants. We saved it the last time. Single arrow, no auto balance, none of that.
Okay, we're gonna do, yeah.
You could pick it.
Thornwood.
Thornwood, great map. So Thornwood introduces thorn arrows, which let you sort of set traps for people. Thankfully, Chris Plant is bad, so I shouldn't be having to worry about that too much. See, he almost killed himself right there.
That's not what happened.
Oh, God.
No!
There it is. So this is TowerFall Ascension, I should mention. This is the PC version of the game that is not available. It's not out yet. I'm sorry, audience that's watching. This is what's going to be coming to PS4 and PC in a little bit. Early 2014 is the current quote-unquote release date. And we're just trying to, oh God. No, there it is.
Oh my gosh.
Caught that arrow from him. What up?
No! Oh my gosh, this is not fun.
So the best feeling in life is blanking Chris Plant in a TowerFall match. So I'm gonna try to do that here. He really gets very upset. We've got some wings going on here. Oh God, oh!
No!
Ah! I knocked your hat off.
Okay.
Okay, he's coming to get the arrows. Good move. Good tactics. Ah!
Oh, there we go.
Shoot.
It's not gonna be a clean board.
It isn't. It's not a clean board. Oh. Oh. Yeah, what up? Oh God, I almost cut myself. Oh my God, so many arrows. Oh, that was stupid.
Oh, you're a fool.
I killed myself.
So, People want to know who's the best TowerFall player. The reality is it's neither of us. Unfortunately, it's Big Jim Jim. One of our video team members is something of a competitive gamer, I would say.
He was a pro Halo 2 gamer for a while and talks about stuff like reload canceling that I really don't care about. Oh god. But he is much better at the game than we are, unfortunately. Okay, we're having some difficulty, some technical difficulties, if you will.
Oh, then you cheated on me.
And I took advantage of it and won.
You're bullying.
I don't know why the game was slowing down a little bit. Still in pre-release stage. Also, we might be running like 6 other PC games in the background. I don't remember if we closed everything. And he killed himself.
My gosh.
On the spinning spike there. Well done, Chris. Making it easy on me. Boop. Very embarrassing. And I'm 1 away from the win. Match point, if you will. That's the tennis term. Okay, let's see what we got in these chests. We got some brambleware. Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
Like stuck. Oh, God. No! Well done. That's some good usage of the bramble arrows. Totally had me stuck in that corner there. I could have gotten out, but I got scared.
Okay.
This is getting serious now.
Oh, no! It's down to 1.
Embarrassing.
Here's what it is.
It's all tied up.
Here's where the truth happens.
This is the truth time. Chris is gonna get crushed by that moving block. I know
Here's the thing. I do not do well in pressure moments.
He doesn't. Oh, wow. Shields. Oh! Oh, I forgot. Damn it. Oh, no!
Today is the day. That's 1 and 1.
Oh, we're all tied up.
Oh my gosh, it feels good. I feel good. The rest of this week's gonna be great.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to wake up every morning knowing you didn't win this week.
It's true. I don't have the mighty cup of TowerFall.
That's what I want you to think about before you go to bed. First thing when you wake up, I lost.
I lost, and I didn't lose good. I lost bad. Thank you, Chris. Well done. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to you, the audience, for tuning into Polygon Live. This week, we had a very full week of games. Hopefully next week will be just as full. I know it will be. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I do, because I have an idea of what we're playing next week.
Awesome. I'm very, very excited. So thanks again for tuning in. And we'll be back next Wednesday at noon Eastern for Polygon Live. Later.